Quý vị, Tết là thời điểm tiễn đưa năm cũ và đón mừng năm mới. Dứt khoát với những quá khứ không may mắn, thay vào đó là lời yêu thương, là sự đoàn kết thân thiện, chan hòa.
Vì dù con đường đấu tranh cho những giá trị dân chủ và nhân quyền còn đầy chông gai, hôm nay chúng ta gặp nhau như một dịp đoàn viên để tri ân và ăn mừng những thành tựu đã đạt được.
In a challenging year, Vietnamese people across the United States and of all ages broke political barriers. We spoke in a common voice and changed the landscape of American politics together.
Từ những cử tri thầm lặng đến các nhà hoạt động tận tụy, chúng ta đã chọn một tương lai cấp tiến hơn, nhân hậu hơn và tràn đầy niềm hy vọng.
We have chosen a more progressive future, a more benevolent future,
and a more hopeful future.
Đặc biệt, Tết Tân Sửu năm nay, cầu chúc tất cả chúng ta những ngày Tết thật yên lành và hạnh phúc. Cầu mong đại dịch Covid sớm qua. Cầu chúc suốt năm an toàn cho sức khỏe của mình và mọi người thân yêu, để hòa hiệp, an bình sẽ đến với mọi gia đình.
May you and your loved ones have a safe, harmonious, and healthy year.
Happy Lunar New Year.
Chúc mừng năm mới.
Chúc mừng năm mới các bạn.
Chúc mừng năm mới.
Chúc mừng năm mới.
Chúc mừng năm mới.
All right, we're back. My parents always say vạn sự khởi đầu nan. Nên xin lỗi cô chú bác anh chị em vì cái interruption đó. But let's share our video, our new link to your friends, your family if needed, so we can have more people celebrating here with us. And Anh-Tuan, would you mind unmuting?
Sure. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. It wouldn't be a virtual meeting without technical difficulties, right? And so next I'd like to the national anthem. We're fortunate to have ca sĩ Ngoc Anh Nguyen from Asia Entertainment join us.
Xin quý vị cùng hát quốc ca với ca sĩ Ngoc Anh Nguyen với chúng tôi.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you so much. And next up, Ben, do you want to go?
Sure. Next up we have Linh, and he will introduce our special guests.
Our national anthem is our national prayer, and it unites us. So at this time, I would like to invite brothers Chris Nghiem of Salesians of Don Bosco, a Catholic and Franciscan society, to deliver the invocation. Brother Chris.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you can hear me all right. I'm Brother Chris again from the Salesian Don Bosco. It's too bad I don't have an ao dai with me, but at least I still have some gold here for the good luck of New Year. It is my great honor to be here with you all tonight and to offer an invocation for the event. So at this moment, I'd like to invite everybody to spend some brief moment to calm ourselves and center ourselves. Let us pray. Spirit of hope, teach us to open ourselves up, even in the time of isolation during the COVID-19 pandemic. Remind us that friendliness and hospitality are the trademark of our Vietnamese culture. Open our hearts and minds so that we know how to look after people around us. During this time of fear and uncertainty, let us bring warmth and goodness to wherever we go. Spirit of hope, move us from individualism to solidarity. Help us stand with our brothers and sisters who are marginalized, mistreated, and discriminated against. Let us lock arms with our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ+ community, in the Black Lives Matter community. Let us speak up for the women who are underpaid and harassed, for the undocumented workers who fear for their families' future, for the people on the streets who do not have a shelter, for the unborn, and for the immigrants at the border. Spirit of hope, move us from division to greater unity. As our nation is starting a new chapter, profound division remains in our society. Teach us to become bridges and not walls. Fill our hearts with loving kindness towards those who are different from us. Guide us to bring peace to where there is conflict. Spirit of hope, heal our families. As many of us have experienced misunderstanding, coldness, and division within our own families, with our own brothers and sisters, with our own parents and grandparents. Let us then be the instruments of healing. Grant us courage to stand for our belief, but also grant us humility to listen with an open heart. Let us be peace, starting in each of our own families. And therefore, let us bring hope to our nation, and let us be the hope for America. Chúc mừng năm mới, everybody.
In Vietnamese tradition, Tết is also a time for remembrance. Let us pause for a moment to honor the lives of all the grandparents, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, uncle, aunts, all of our relatives who have passed away from the COVID-19 virus, and also for all of the victims of hate and injustice. Amen. And that concludes our moment of silence and reflection. Bin and Cookie, over to you.
Thank you so much, Linh. So back to the regularly scheduled programming. Although we are among the newest immigrant demographics in the United States, us Vietnamese Americans, we have made incredible strides in political representation since the first refugee arrived in 1975.
And side by side, we can't forget to acknowledge our allies, our friends that share our values and understand our story. And we're so honored to welcome Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal from the great state of Washington to join us to share a few words.
Good evening. I'm Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal, and it's my honor to be speaking with you as we celebrate a new presidential administration, welcome in the Year of the Ox, and recognize the incredible organizing our communities have done over the last year to bring change to America. I also want to give a special thank you to the phenomenal Washington State Representative My-Linh and to my very own phenomenal state senator, Joe Nguyen, for inviting me to join you today. As we continue to celebrate a historic inauguration, I want to extend my enthusiastic congratulations to President Joe Biden. And as the first South Asian American woman ever elected to the House of Representatives and the first person of color that Democrats in Washington state ever sent to Congress, I take particular pride in the election of Vice President Kamala Harris, the first woman, first South Asian American, and first Black person to ever be elected to this important position of public trust. This is truly meaningful for our country, including for so many women and people of color. We have not only shattered ceilings when we are the first, but we construct a different path for so many millions of people across the country to imagine the possibilities for their own futures. I had the opportunity to go to Vietnam back in 1994, working on public health issues and spending a month living in Hanoi. I will always treasure that time and the generosity of the people, and it helped me build a strong bond to our Vietnamese American community here in the region as I worked on immigration issues as the founder of the largest immigrant and refugee rights organization, and later as an elected representative. I know how much every one of you has been doing for years and even decades to help us achieve this truly transformational and historic moment in our country, where representation of our communities and our diversity is growing at every single level, from the highest levels, including to those at the state level with the great leadership of Representative Tai and Senator Nguyen. And I know that together with your engagement and your work, we can continue this movement to build a brighter, more inclusive, more just future that makes all of us proud. I look forward to working alongside of you every step of the way. So thank you and Happy New Year. Chúc mừng năm mới.
Mừng năm mới, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. And this year's protest provided a flashpoint in the intergenerational dialogue about racism and police brutality, especially amongst Vietnamese American households. State Representative Tram Nguyen inspired us and beautifully reflected the community's changing outlook on social activism and a concept of justice for all.
So please join us in welcoming Massachusetts Representative Ngoc Anh.
Thank you so much, Cookie and Ben, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you so much to the Planning Committee for inviting me to speak to at tonight's State Gala. Kính chào quý vị. Good evening. I'm so honored to be a part of this community whose activism and historic civic engagement made the difference in bringing President Biden and Vice President Harris to the White House along with their exciting new administration. And it's also wonderful to have Congressman Jayapal join us here today as well. As we celebrate the Year of the Ox and a new administration, I am elated to see so many of you donning your ao dai and looking so elegant at tonight's virtual celebration. celebration. I especially want to say hello to my family members who are watching right now. The feeling of community and pride is strong tonight, no matter what technological barriers stand between us, right? And so civic engagement is so important, more important than ever in our community. This past year has been such a difficult year for many, including Vietnamese Americans, with their businesses, jobs, housing, and family ties and friendships tested by the pandemic. And especially Vietnamese Americans, like other Asian groups, other Asian communities, were fairly casted by the last administration as being the cause of this virus, which was such an unfortunate thing. But despite all this, 2020 was a year of amazing organizational efforts from our community. My gratitude goes out to the countless Vietnamese Americans, volunteers, poll workers, campaign staff, and voters who helped and influence others to register and vote. We in the Vietnamese American community know a lot about creating opportunities from challenges and crises, right? So this Tết and the Year of the Ox calls for resiliency, strength, and confidence. And I encourage you all to continue to educate your friends and family, get them excited about policy and getting involved in public service that has an impact on each and every one of our daily lives. So let's resolve to be more active than ever in raising awareness about the needs of our community members in state and in both the state and the country, transcending borders and cultural barriers. And I encourage you all to foster an environment where your families and peers and coworkers and friends feel empowered to let their intergenerational perspectives be heard. Whether you're a grandparent, mother or father, aunt or uncle, or young adult or teen, your voice and perspective matter so much more in this democracy than you can ever imagine. And so far, we've seen a huge impact. We've already seen a difference. The Biden-Harris administration have already signed 4 anti-racist executive orders with pledges to fight discrimination and misinformation promoted against minority communities by the last administration. One of these orders takes direct aim at xenophobia and hate against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, directing the Department of Health and Human Services to outline best practices for advancing cultural competency, language access, and sensitivity to Asian American and Pacific Islanders in the federal government's COVID-19 response, which is just so crucial at this time. And also in the order is a directive for the U.S. Department of Justice to work with Asian Americans and Pacific Islander communities to prevent hate crimes and harassment against the AAPIs. President Biden was one of the first congressmen to support the resettlement of Vietnamese, Laotian, and Cambodian refugees on U.S. soil in 1975, as we all know. And with the Biden administration, we know we have an ally in the White House who understands that there is no America without strong, resilient immigrant communities like ours, which are building this country towards greatness for generations to come. The selflessness I saw in my parents led me to pursue a career in public service as an attorney, working in legal services, where I made my presence and known in the Vietnamese American community and really worked to help elevate the voices of Vietnamese Americans. In doing this work, I advocated for the most vulnerable populations at the State House, helping to secure passage of important legislation like bilingual education, earned income tax credit, and paid family medical leave, all issues that affect our communities intimately. And from this experience, I rose into my current position. I'm so proud to be the very first Vietnamese American in the Massachusetts House of Representatives, where I continue to fight for issues relating to gender, racial, economic, and environmental justice, gun safety, public education, language access, healthcare, and so much more. I'm humbled to carry this responsibility and amplify the cause of Vietnamese Americans and other minority groups, though I know I'm one of only one voice of many, right? And equally important ones in the community, which have overcome each and every challenge we have faced in our history through unity. I'm proud to serve among so many other Vietnamese American electeds. You've heard Senator Cho Nguyen and Representative My-Linh from Washington, but we also have Representative B. Nguyen and Delegate Kathy Tran, and so many of you here who advocate and who are so committed to working towards a better future for all. And we need to continue this momentum and solidarity. The insights and experiences of our unwavering Vietnamese American community are exactly what the federal administration needs to hear. Now more than ever, we have a chance to come together to influence this country like we've never seen before, carving out our stake in the American dream. So thank you so much for joining us tonight at this virtual celebration. I feel an amazing power in this virtual space, this virtual room tonight, even when we're not, we're together just in this, new medium that we're getting used to during this pandemic. And I'm really excited to see what the future has to offer. And I'm more proud than ever to be a Vietnamese American this Viet. And so I came here when I was 5 years old. I'm more comfortable in English, but I do want to say a couple of words in Vietnamese. Chúc mừng năm mới. Trâm xin chúc mọi người một năm mới an khang thịnh vượng, dồi dào sức khỏe và dạng sự như ý. Và rất là nhiều hạnh phúc. Hơn hết, Trâm hy vọng là chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục có quyết tâm và lòng kiên cường để tiếp tục đấu tranh cho dân chủ, tự do và bình đẳng cho tất cả mọi người. Xin cảm ơn quý vị.
Cảm ơn dân biểu Trâm Nguyễn. She was fantastic, right, Cookie?
I just can't even compare. I hope my parents never discover her. Otherwise, I'm toast. So everyone else in this world knows of the band ABBA through the movie Mamma Mia or the song My Honey. But if you're a Viet kid, I 100% know that you grew up with their song Happy New Year. Hey, Ben, do you know that the original song isn't even meant to be for happy occasion?
Now that I think about it, lyrics like feeling lost and feeling blue shouldn't represent our jubilant mood right now. But luckily, Cookie, Cô Như Mai has helped us out. Please welcome ca sĩ Như Mai with a very happy and jubilant version of Vietnamese version of ABBA's Happy New Year.
Xin chúc cho mọi nhà cùng người thân hân hoan đón xuân, năm cũ đi, năm mới sang, đón thêm bao tin vui nơi nơi. Chào năm mới trong gió xuân an lành, rộn ràng bao câu ca thắm tươi. Ai cũng vui bên gia đình, chúc năm nay an khang mọi nhà. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào bạn ơi, hãy ngân lên khúc ca tươi vui, chúc cho nhau những câu yêu thương, một năm mới an lành. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào cùng nhau hát vang lên Happy New Year. Tết nơi nơi hãy nắm tay nhau, chờ giây phút giao thừa. Tết cho mọi nhà, Tết cho mọi người. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào bạn ơi, hãy ngân lên khúc ca tươi vui, chúc cho nhau những câu yêu thương, một năm mới an lành. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào cùng nhau hát vang lên Happy New Year. Tết nơi nơi hãy nắm tay nhau, chờ giây phút giao thừa. Tết cho mọi nhà, Tết cho mọi người. Xin chúc cho ông bà và mẹ cha được luôn sống lâu, vui đón xuân bên cháu con, bé thơ đang mong bao lì xì. Ngày đầu năm ai cũng vui sum vầy, còn tình duyên mình đi lễ chùa. Trong nắng xuân chim én bay, khắp nơi nơi muôn hoa khoe tươi. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào bạn ơi, hãy ngân lên khúc ca tươi vui, chúc cho nhau những câu yêu thương, một năm mới an lành. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào cùng nhau hát vang lên Happy New Year. Tết nơi nơi hãy nắm tay nhau, chờ giây phút giao thừa. Tết cho mọi nhà. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào bạn ơi, hãy ngân lên khúc ca tươi vui, chúc cho nhau những câu yêu thương, một năm mới an lành. Happy New Year, Happy New Year. Nào cùng nhau hát vang lên Happy New Year. Tết nơi nơi hãy nắm tay nhau, chờ giây phút giao thừa. Tết cho mọi người, Tết cho mọi nhà. Happy New Year.
Beautiful performance. So we don't want to just talk among ourselves or to the screen. So we really want to see what you have to say about that and our traditions. So comment in the Facebook comments, YouTube comments, wherever. What are your favorite Tết dishes? So for example, anh Bình, my favorite has to be thịt ngâm mắm. It is, a dish where my mom would submerge, pork belly in nước mắm for like days, and when it comes out, it's, so luscious and tasteful. So I was wondering, what is your favorite dish for
That
that?
sounds delicious. I mean, I'm a simple guy, just from bánh tét, chiên, and some sugar on the side.
Yeah.
So Cookie,
Pleasure.
so Cookie, I have a question for you. Do you know what mâm ngũ quả is?
Yes, actually, I'm not that whitewashed yet. So mâm ngũ quả is something you put on the bàn thờ every Tết. So it comes like cầu, mãng cầu, sung túc, dừa là trái dừa, đủ là đu đủ, và xoài. And if you read it really fast, it comes out like cầu sung dừa đủ xoài, meaning being prosperous enough to be comfortable. Very humble wishes.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
I bet you haven't heard this one. So I heard this year people are putting a different type of mâm on their bàn thờ.
Really? What would the mâm be?
Cầu qua Viet.
Did you guys get it?
Right?
So qua Viet.
Mãng cầu, khổ qua, and con Viet.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like cầu qua as in like a distorted way of saying khổ qua, but cầu is like a mãng cầu. I see. Interesting. Okay.
Still looks like fruit on the altar.
Got it. So em không thích cầu qua, em không thích mãng cầu hay là khổ qua, nhưng mà em thích hết dịch. Thì mình vừa cầu qua dịch, vừa đón xuân mới với bài Đón Xuân bởi ca sĩ Ngoc Anh Nguyen nha.
Sounds good.
I love it.
Xuân đã đến rồi, gieo rắc ngàn hồn hoa xuống đời. Vui trong bình minh, muôn loại chim hát vang mọi nơi. Đêm trong tiếng cười, cho kiếp người tình thương đắm đuối. Ánh xuân đêm vui với đời. Kìa trong vạt nắng, bát xuân tràn dâng. Khóm hoa nhẹ rung, môi cười thẹn thùng cùng bao nguồn sáng. Bướm say duyên lành, thắm tô trời xuân. Bầy chim tung cánh hát vui đón mừng mùa nắng tươi lan. Ta nghe rõ về lòng thiết tha như muôn tiếng đàn. Xuân dâng niềm vui cho ngày xanh không hoen lời than. Sầu thương xóa mờ, tình yêu đời càng thêm chan chứa. Khát khao xuân tươi thái hòa. Cùng đón Chúa Xuân đang giáng xuống trần. Thế gian lắng nghe tiếng xuân nồng, kíp hoa hết phai đời hưng phấn. Nào ai hững hờ, xuân vẫn ngóng chờ. Tới đây nắm tay cùng ca múa, hát lên nón xuân của tuổi thơ. Xuân đã đến rồi, gieo rắc ngàn hồn hoa xuống đời. Vui trong bình minh, muôn loài chim hát vang mọi nơi. Đêm trong tiếng cười, cho kiếp người tình thương đắm đuối. Ánh xuân đem vui với đời. Xuân nồng, kíp hoa hết phai đời hưng phấn. Nào ai hững hờ, xuân vẫn ngóng chờ. Tới đây nắm tay cùng ca múa, hát lên đón xuân của tuổi thơ. Xuân đã đến rồi, gieo rắc ngàn hồn hoa xuống đời. Vui trong bình minh, muôn loài chim hát vang mọi nơi. Đêm trong tiếng cười, cho kiếp người tình thương đắm đuối. Ánh xuân đêm vui với đời.
Anyone else dancing?
Not me.
Well, switching to a more serious topic, we can't talk about 2020 without talking about the devastating toll that COVID-19 has taken on our communities, on this country, and especially our Vietnamese American community, who a lot of people work on the front lines. And so next up, we have invited three physicians from across the country to join us. Dr. Bich-May Nguyen, Dr. Anh Nguyen, and Dr. Lam Son Nguyen.
Hi, my name is Bich-May Nguyen, and I'm a family physician in Houston, Texas. Thank you, Viets for Biden, for inviting me to speak today and celebrate the election of President Biden and Vice President Harris, and to ring in the Year of the Ox together. In late February 2020, an older man who recently traveled to Egypt scheduled an appointment with me for a fever. I've been following science and health journalists tracking a new disease being referred to as COVID-19. It was so contagious and deadly that an entire province in China was shut down just days before the Lunar New Year, their biggest holiday. However, the week of this appointment, the world learned about the first cases diagnosed outside of China, in Iran and Canada. In our clinic, we didn't have tests or protective equipment for COVID-19. I knew that if he came in, it would risk exposing all of our physicians, nurses, staff, and other patients to this new disease. I immediately advised our staff to call him to cancel the appointment and direct him to the hospital emergency room where he could be tested. As a primary care physician, I try to keep patients out of the ER, but in this case, this was the safest option for all. The following week, I was driving home from work and heard the county press conference announcing the first COVID-19 cases in Greater Houston, all from a group who'd recently visited Egypt. I don't think any of us imagined how much our lives would change in 2020. At this point, more than 26 million Americans have caught COVID-19, and more than 440,000 have died from it. Recently, Asian Americans consistently account for nearly half of COVID-19 deaths in the Bay Area. If you look at the disaggregated data, the rate of new coronavirus cases among residents of Vietnamese and Filipino descent was rising faster than that of other Asian groups. Asian Americans are finding it harder than others in the US to regain the jobs they lost in 2020 due to the pandemic. Financial aid like the Paycheck Protection Program supports small companies, but these programs are not designed with the Asian community in mind, so many Asians are ineligible to apply. Biden and Harris are taking charge during a challenging time in our country's history. I hope that they will rise to the challenge and make the choices that will help regular folks survive this pandemic. Listen to the scientists. Let the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention do what they do best to provide guidance on how communities can be safe. Distribute information in non-English languages via news sources where these communities congregate. Provide financial support to working families so they don't have to decide between a paycheck or their lives. Improve access to affordable healthcare so that people get sick. They aren't worried about the cost of testing or treatment. Simultaneously, you must actively counter disinformation. Misinformation about the COVID-19 and politics flows through Latinx and API communities. Health professionals and scientists like me finish their day jobs and then go online to share fact-based information. You must figure out how to connect with these communities to share facts and what you are doing to help us. Only then can we have a healthy democracy. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ngoc Anh.
Hi everyone, my name is Ngoc Anh. Thank you for having me on. It's a little hectic right now because I'm in the ER, so we're just seeing patients, but thank you everyone for all of your work in the election, volunteering, all of the other frontliners, not just doctors, but nurses, environmental services, techs, teachers, cashiers, everyone. So we really appreciate it. None of this would be possible without all of you. And, just thank you to Pivot and everybody for just being so amazing. And I just want to show you, I'm working with my brother today. And we have another Vietnamese scribe. You're on the Viets for Biden Inaugural Gala.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Lam Son. I believe you're muted.
Kính thưa quý vị và chúc mừng năm mới. Tên tôi là bác sĩ Nguyễn Đặng Lam Son. Thank you for having me on this program today. And hello, my fellow Vietnamese Americans. My name is Dr. Nguyễn Đặng Lam Son. I am a board-certified pediatrician through the American Academy of Pediatrics and practice in the Seven Corners, Falls Church, Virginia area. I want to wish everyone a happy and safe Lunar New Year. I also wanted to share my perspective of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Today, after more than 1 year, the US has over 26 million COVID-19 cases and more than 460,000 deaths. However, the minority, immigrant, and low-income communities have disproportionately been affected, including some of our very own Vietnamese American communities. A majority of my patients are part of these communities, and as their physician, caring for hundreds of COVID-19 patients over the past year, I have seen firsthand how much more devastating it has been, with many more infected individuals, more hospitalizations, and sadly, higher death counts. I also have been seeing a disturbing rise in food insecurity due to unprecedented unemployment. Most of this, sadly, was due to unfortunate social circumstances during the pandemic. That's why I believe that for those of us who are much more fortunate, we must do our best to help those in need. We now also have new variants of the virus from the UK and South Africa, which have shown to be up to 50% more transmissible and possibly more deadly. However, we do have a light at the end of the tunnel with the COVID-19 vaccine distribution. But until we achieve herd immunity, we must continue to be vigilant with public health safety measures by wearing our masks, socially distancing, avoiding large indoor gatherings with people outside your households, especially during this time during the Lunar New Year. We understand that it has been hard, but we must do these things to protect the ones we love so that we can enjoy the many future Lunar New Years to come after the pandemic. I have gotten both of my COVID-19 vaccines and experienced no serious side effects or adverse effects. My colleagues and I trust the science and fully support this vaccine. I encourage everyone to do the same. Tôi đã chích thuốc ngừa COVID-19 và không bị phản ứng phụ gì nặng nề. Tôi cũng khuyên quý vị tin tưởng về khoa học và đi chích thuốc ngừa COVID-19 khi đến lúc của mình để bảo vệ mình và bảo vệ những người trong cộng đồng. Please do your part and get vaccinated when it's your turn. And for those of you who are younger and tech savvy, please help your elderly loved ones register for their vaccine appointments, as this has been a struggle. Chúc quý vị một năm mới, nhiều sức khỏe và may mắn. Chúc các ông bà sống lâu trăm tuổi và chúc các bạn trẻ học giỏi, thành công và làm ăn phát tài. Xin cảm ơn quý vị. Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Wow. Cannot have enough words to thank our frontline workers who are also winning in life.
Cảm ơn bác sĩ Bich-May, cảm ơn bác sĩ Lam Son, cảm ơn bác sĩ Ngoc Anh.
All right. Well, I'm sure, like me, you're all sick of your uncle screaming MAGA in family group chats all the time. I think, Anh-Tuan, that it's time for us to reclaim MAGA. What do you think?
I think so. Tuần này anh sẽ đốt pháo để tiễn đưa ma quỷ khỏi xóm làng mình. Thì hôm nay anh chị em mình cùng chung tay tiễn đưa MAGA nha.
Kavi Vu, a Georgia native, is well known for her work in Wake Up Atlanta and is a true grassroots activist, galvanizing Asian American voters in Georgia to turn out the vote that helped win the presidency and flip the Senate blue. So please welcome Kavi with her poem, Make America Great Again.
Thank goodness this poem is irrelevant now. I wrote it 4 years ago, and what a happy day. It's called Make America Great Again. Cheney Elementary School, Civic Oration Contest 2002. The prompt: what makes the USA great? Mom said talk about how it makes way for people like us with a place to stay. But by 5th grade, I was already jaded by the images of Vietnam that my textbooks painted, so corrupt, so deceitful as a people. Had other kids tell me I was intrinsically evil. And my teachers worried that I would isolate them, that telling the immigrant story would affect my grade, because after all, this is a contest. If the judges can't relate, then they won't be responsive. Here I highlighted some parts for you to shorten, and I whited out some things that I don't think are important, because they don't really fit our definition of foreign. Funny thing is, I didn't think twice about it. She was a real American. Who was I to doubt it? And I kept believing then, and it didn't feel crazy then. Funny how it keeps you grounded when they label you an alien. And that's what we do, we immigrants. We don't really talk much, we just keep listening. I would take it in because I was new and I was still learning until I realized those books would never reflect my journey. If class lessons are biased, then yes, united we stand, but we are just standing still. If we don't have a plan to tell our story, then someone else will. But Mom said, honey, don't get involved in all of this. We're lucky enough to be here. It doesn't really matter what they call us. No, I care what they call us. She would clean bathrooms day and night just to put us through college, but she said it's okay. I've been through much worse. They're just words, honey. They don't really hurt. Like her first job, first day in the States, no clue how to make an American hamburger. Customers spit on it right in front of her. She was cussed out by the manager because she didn't know the difference between mayonnaise and mustard. Maybe something about mixing the yellow and white confused her. But that didn't upset her. She kept going, knowing the best country in the world would eventually accept her. And now 24 years later, all her kids graduated. She took the test, took the oath, flag wave, and Ma, we made it. We can talk politics and you don't have to be afraid. And then she got pulled over because she wasn't the right shade. In South Georgia, in a town with population 500, where everybody owns a gun but police do the most hunting. Despite her knowledge of the law, she told herself, stay quiet. What do you do when the one thing you depend on is biased? What do you do when you've made this country yours? You raise your kids with the intention of moving this country forward because this country is all they've ever known. And after 24 years, you finally thought you could call this country home. Because in this new life, you are so much more than a voiceless housewife. You can speak your mind, and they promised that it would matter. They said just keep working harder. The rewards will come after. Just so long as you remember to always pay your taxes, keep your head down, make do, and be a product of your environment. Then you turn on the news. All you see is a racist, a bigot with a false sense of entitlement, claiming to make America great again with hate and violence. And then you realize that these sentiments are not his alone. How quickly they will remind you, this was never your home. My mom has given up hope, but this is all I know, and I will fight till my last breath to show it. As an immigrant, a woman of color, I will make scholars of my daughters. I won't tolerate white collars who pause or try to stop her, who draw our lines and call for fines but still deny my equal dollar. Playing with our lives, you need to find a better hobby. Yes, I will stay and lobby, and no, I won't say sorry, because no man's voice is louder than my choices for my body. And I'm sorry if this sounds angry. Mom, I know we're supposed to keep our heads down and stay friendly, but I'm so tired of being agreeable to a point of having no identity. Dear Cheney Elementary, I may be 15 years too late, but isolation is not a weapon. Immigrants should never be threatened. If you don't understand acceptance, you have no idea what makes this country great. Thank you.
Wow. Do we know we all need a minute to just recollect ourselves?
Yeah, I'm tearing up over here.
These are heavy words, and I wish, we could translate this into Vietnamese so that all parents can hear and realize they all have that strength within them, that we're more than agreeable people, right? We have so much raw talent in our community, and I think that like thì kho như giá cho năm mới, Vietnamese Americans and political activism look and go really, really well together.
Cookie, I think people are going to be quoting you a lot from now on. And please, if you're watching this and you're enjoying the program and the talent in our community, please support us. I think there should be a link that's coming on. Even though the 2020 presidential election and the season has ended and came to a great fruitful end, We, along with our partners, Pivot, API Victory Fund, we intend to continue this work in some shape or form and continue to build our community. Our performers, we're giving them all say this in the spirit of New Year, so please support us.
Ba mẹ em thường dạy là free là tốt, nhưng mà những cái gì tốt nhất thì không hề free. Cho nên nếu anh chị em cô bác muốn tiếp tục xây dựng gọi là sức mạnh chính trị của cộng đồng chúng ta, thì chúng ta cần cái số tiền đó và cần cái sự giúp đỡ để tiếp tục công việc dài dẳng và rất là khó khăn này.
Well said, Cookie. Please donate. And we wouldn't have been able to make such incredible political strides this past season without all the volunteers, without the energy, right? It was an especially divisive year for our Vietnamese American community and the wider American community. But I believe it's brought us closer together and made us learn to love a little harder. Never before have we coordinated rallies across the country. 10 major cities, hundreds of people, thousands of people participate in them. And I'm so proud of it. And you can see for yourself in this recap video.
All right, looking sharp and beautiful. I have to say that this year's grassroots work was unlike anything we've ever seen in our community. The Facebook groups that are used to provide a space for Viet liberals to congregate, to TikTok videos used to encourage political engagement towards the younger electorate. We have online activism to thank for connecting all of us here today. And we've made this gala possible by spreading the words in those same groups. And we have Anne Philip up next. Sorry, Jefferey.
Thanks, Cookie. Yeah, exactly. So
today is not just about celebrating Vietnamese Americans for Biden or Pivot. There's a constellation of groups that really help drive this movement. And that includes, groups like Viet Vote, Viet Rise, Viets for America, all these different groups that helped throughout this campaign. I know there are groups like Vietnamese American Voting Project and Viet Vote that wrote postcards. Viets for America created a whole new website for Vietnamese Americans to go to get unbiased information. Of course, Pivot has been doing phenomenal work, and Pivot projects like Viet Fact Check that have been fighting misinformation and at the very forefront of fighting misinformation in immigrant communities, even launching a research project with University of Washington. Also want to give a shout out to the amazing grassroots energy on Facebook, groups like Vietnamese and Friends for Democracy and Decency, Vietnamese Americans Against TRUMP. That was a lot of energy in that group that drove so much discussion. Even Asian Americans with Republican Parents, the support group. And then, of course, a shout out to Cookie's own organization, Nuôi Thong Dic, the interpreter, and Không Nói Không Biết. So moving on, media, the Vietnamese media were also an integral part in all of these efforts. Not just SBTN, but organizations like Saigon Entertainment Television, Viet Face TV, NV Radio. Of course, I have to give a shout out to Viet Bao that published Joe Biden's first ever op-ed to the Vietnamese community, the first ever op-ed ever written by a presidential candidate to our community. And that's how you know that we are starting to have some clout among others, both media and organizations. And we're all really part of a movement. And as Representative Jum said earlier, this movement, we really need to stay connected and keep this network strong so that we can continue the amazing work that we all have been doing. So thank you.
All right, and now up next, we have Alex to come on to continue the program.
Thank you, Cookie, and thank you everyone for being here. My name is Alex. I'm a public health student, and I'm one of the organizers of Texas. Chúc mừng năm mới, everyone. Over the past year, I think we've all seen just how much more prominently Vietnamese Americans have been in the national spotlight. Yes, there was a lot of coverage about our divisions, as you can see here, many of us having to face it in our own families and communities. Ugh, too soon. But at the same time, we were able to elevate our voices and make our stances clear. And all over the country, the media noticed. To having our rallies featured by local news in Virginia and being featured by Al Jazeera, being covered and having our experience and opinions and perspectives clearly put out there for the world to see. And moving forward to having dragon dancers, lion dancers performing in Eden Center in Virginia. To Washington, where rallygoers marched and danced their way to ballot drop boxes, even as helicopters flew pro-Trump messages over them. To California, where a united front stood their ground against those seeking to foster division. And of course, to the lovely state of Texas, where we united with AAPI community members and proudly made our mark in the community. And of course, we can't forget the political miracle of Georgia, flipping the Senate, all the work of tireless organizers who mobilized our Vietnamese and AAPI community to get out and vote for a better future. None of this went without being unnoticed, of course. The month before the election, you could only imagine our collective shock at seeing the mother of one of our fellow organizers in Houston being featured front and center on Joe Biden's Instagram page. Imagine a Vietnamese American representing the AAPI community on such a huge platform and looking great while doing it. And with the hard work of so many people pushing behind the scenes to make our voices heard, we made history. For the first time, a major presidential candidate wrote an op-ed addressing the Vietnamese American community directly, speaking about the issues that matter to us most in our own language. And this is only the beginning. All of this is part of why it is so important for us to continue speaking up, making ourselves visible so that no matter who's in charge, our voices are continue to be included in the conversation. So thank you to everyone who's helped make this possible.
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Alex, for that recap of all that hard work.
That was great. Thank you. So next, let's do another round of interactions. Obviously, we kids don't know too much about that. We know, the most superficial imagery, but we want to know more and learn more. So in the comments, please share with us your favorite Tết tradition. From the most obscure one to the most commercialized, we don't care. We just want to learn more. So do it in the comments below. So I was wondering, what is your favorite tradition, Anh?
I don't know where to start. I know for my partner, his favorite tradition is when I clean the house for New Year's.
Sao anh khôn quá vậy? Anh nên nhớ nhắc your partner là khi nào mà quét nhà ngày Tết á, thì nhớ quét vô, đừng quét ra, chứ không thôi quét ra là tiền đi ra theo đó nha.
Ok. Sao cái này mình phải hỏi Cookie.
Cái tradition của em hả là nhận tiền lì xì anh, nhưng mà bây giờ em hết bị cạn kiệt rồi, cho nên buồn.
Gửi qua USPS chắc nó bị chậm chút, Cookie phải đợi một chút.
Bây giờ em nhận USPS, em nhận Venmo, em nhận Facebook Pay, cho nên nếu mà ai muốn mở túi thì vào trang nhà của em nhé. Okay, then I don't know about you, but as a Gen Z, I have such a phobia of speaking on the phone. I mean, just ask any of us under the age of 25.
And for that reason, it's all the more commendable that thousands of young grassroots volunteers made calls and encouraged voter turnout in key states. And, they practiced their broken Vietnamese to speak with older elders. Cookie, did you know that Pivot volunteers called all Vietnamese voters in Georgia before the Senate runoff? Not just once, but twice.
No way. Ủa anh, mà em thấy dì Bảy rảnh cả tháng nay toàn tám chuyện trên phone không? Tại Covid á, mà sao mình không có dùng nguồn lực ghê gớm này nha? Mà em bảo đảm là nếu mà dùng dì Bảy là Biden thắng vượt trội luôn, chứ không phải là 140% đâu.
Thì đó, tại vậy mình phải tiếp tục khuyến khích, phải không, các cô bác, các anh chị, bạn trẻ mà phải tiếp tục tham dự vào chính trị để kiếm những dì Bảy out there, right?
Yeah, of course. So Tien Trang is a comedian and a TV writer, and today she will be our very own Batham to reenact the trials and tribulations of a Phonebank volunteer. So please welcome to the stage, Tien.
Hi, my name is Tien, and I'm a volunteer with the Viets for Biden, and I'm calling to thank you for volunteering this past election. We couldn't have done it without you. You helped make sure that our community's voices and concerns are heard. We hope you stay involved. Thanks, and have a great night. Okay, let's do this. Linh, you're up.
Hello, Linh here.
Hi, my name is Tien, and I'm a volunteer with the...
Sorry I can't come to the phone right now, but if you could leave a message.
Oh, Linh. Classic fake voicemail. Okay, love that for you, Linh.
Hello?
Hi, my name is Tien, and I'm...
I can't come to the phone right now. If you could please leave a message, I'll call you right back.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on me again.
Hi!
Hi, my name is Tien, Tien and
You've reached Main's voicemail. I can't come to the phone right now. Leave a message.
Are you kidding me?
Hello.
Hi, my name is Tien and
Gotcha.
I'm a volunteer with the
You
Viets
know
for
what to do.
Biden, and I cannot believe I fell for it again. Why? Why do you want to trick someone? You don't even get to be there to hear it.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Tien.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Fake voicemail. Okay. What the Here it is. Someone's gonna pick up. You're gonna talk to someone.
Hello, it's Lee.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Hi, are you really there?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Okay, good. I've been tricked a few times now.
I get
Hi, my name is Tien, and I'm a volunteer with the Viets for Biden. And I'm calling to thank you for volunteering this past election. We couldn't have done it without you. You helped make sure that our community's voices and concerns are heard. And we hope you stay involved. So thank you so much. And
Gotcha. I'm not here. Leave a message.
Chúc mừng năm mới bà con cả nhà. Tôi tên là Thái Thị Mỹ-Linh, representative từ tiểu bang Washington. Xin mời các anh chị trong cái panel sắp tới join Mỹ-Linh nha. All right. Chào, is it Viet Thái?
Just Thai is fine.
Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi everybody. My name is Thai Viet Phang. I'm the first Vietnamese American council member here in the city of Santa Ana, which is a part of the Little Saigon area in Orange County. So, xin kính chào quý vị. Tên tôi là Thái Viet Phang, nghị viên hội đồng thành phố Santa Ana, người Mỹ gốc Việt đầu tiên làm nghị viên ở Santa Ana.
Welcome. Lung, I see you next. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Lun Diep, former council member in the city of San Jose. Chúng tôi là nghị viên Diệp Thế Lân. Rất là vui có mặt hôm nay với quý vị.
And I deliberately saved the best for last with that adorable picture. Delegate Kathy Tran.
Hello chị Mỹ-Linh, đây là Kathy Tran, delegate của Virginia, tiểu bang Virginia, gần Washington DC, gần Fairfax. Này là em bé Bảo Châu.
Hello, it's adorable.
Okay, mình còn thiếu Joe Nguyễn của tiểu bang Washington, nhưng mà trong cái khoảng thời gian chờ đợi Joe trở lại với mình thì trong cái dịp năm mới này và cũng trong cái dịp mình celebrate cái sự mình celebrate the coming together of Vietnamese American. I give up. I'm attempting to speak Vietnamese. Just go for what I can do. Really a quick opportunity to shout out to, let's see, 128 viewer on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us. And I really would like this opportunity to invite you to share with the Vietnamese American across our country, our home. We are going to claim it. This is our home, period. First question, Kathy, what is your number one policy that you're working on this year, 2021?
Come on, Mỹ-Linh. So, good legislative session has started, and we're in the middle of it. We're in the middle of it, and my number one policy right now is to protect our DMV data and making sure that we do everything to keep it private. Particularly last year, I passed a bill to allow undocumented immigrants to drive and get driving credentials. And so that took place on January 1st of this year. And so we also want to make sure that we are not allowing ICE to access our DMV data and put our undocumented immigrant friends and neighbors on a path to deportation. So I'm protecting it for them and for all of us, because we know a lot of the companies are using the data and selling it and passing it along. Bao Chao agrees. That's an important policy.
I agree. Yes. And the only reason you can do that is because Virginia, as the assembly, the state of Virginia, get to turn blue, a trifecta, and am I correct? There's more women being elected in the right, or am I thinking of Nevada?
Well, you're thinking, so we also have more women elected in Virginia than at any time before, but I was elected in 2017 and we flipped 15 seats then. And then we, in 2019, won a Senate and House Democratic majorities. And so we are now we have a trifecta, and we, just voted yesterday to abolish the death, today's Saturday. What day is today? Is today Saturday? Yes. So just yesterday was Friday. We voted to abolish the death penalty. And so I think both the House and the Senate passed that. That's going to reach the governor. We are legalizing marijuana in Virginia. We are doing a lot on criminal justice reform. We're pushing electric vehicles for the environment. So we're doing a lot of really important work that we can only do with a Democratic majority. So we're really excited about that.
Congratulations. We moved to a little more in terms of local government, but so important. So Councilmember Lung, could you share with us what's your top priority for this year in the area of your serving?
Yeah, so I live in San Jose, California, and it's the city with the most Vietnamese people, or outside of Vietnam. I know Orange County gets Little Saigon, and they're the capital, but that's a lot of small cities bunched together. San Jose, and then Houston, and I'm not sure what else. But I recently didn't make it through re-election, but I'm still here, and I'm still trying to bring good information to our community. With more time, I'm going to try to do some writing in Vietnamese and English. I have a Vietnamese Facebook page, Vietnamese language Facebook page. I'm trying to disseminate information about COVID and vaccines, and making sure that our community gets accurate information. This year, nationwide is also redistricting, and I want to make sure that our community gets engaged in that, is participating in that process, and paves a way to see another Vietnamese American return to the city council in 2 years.
Amazing. Thank you for your work. And Thai, share with us your top priority, and congratulations and welcome to a small family of elected Vietnamese American across our home.
Thank you. I'm so excited because here in Orange County, as Lun mentioned, we are kind of the capital of the diaspora outside of Vietnam. But in Orange County, we only have 4 Vietnamese Democratic electeds. And so I'm very proud to be the 4th. And, the biggest issue in Santa Ana is really to bring Vietnamese language services to our residents. We are a very progressive city. In fact, we have 4 millennials on the dais. We're a progressive majority. But with progress with COVID, tenant, rent relief and homelessness relief, all of these programs, our residents can't get those services if there are no services in Vietnamese. So that is my #1 priority. And I know for me, that's a social justice issue, that's an economic justice issue, and it's a representation issue. So I'm very excited, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen with redistricting here. Obviously, we have 2 Asian American women who ended up in Congress, but they don't necessarily represent our values. And so it's really important that we engage our community who tend to be Republican and say, no, I'm a proud Democrat, and let me tell you why you should be too.
Awesome, because like on my screen right now, I see East Coast to West Coast, and absolutely is amazing. So just share quickly about my session. I'm in the middle of sessions as well. There's so many important work, but what I like to see is being able to really start changing at the system level. And so one of the legislation I'm introducing with the short title, Equity Impact Statement, because many of our legislations really being viewed through one single view of how much it costs, the money, the dollar sign, instead of human lives. And so with equity impact statement, the intent is that for any legislation being brought forward, it need to examine which community are being impacted negatively. And hopefully we can move a lot more meaningful legislations that really truly put people first. You know, before I let you go, this is just a symbol of amazing elected Vietnamese American across our country. Let's have a quick shout out as if, like if you would chúc Tết your parents, how would you do it? And Thái, I'm gonna throw at you. Go first.
Xin kính chào quý vị và mẹ của Thái. Thái chúc mẹ dĩ nhiên là sống lâu trăm tuổi, sức khỏe dồi dào, tiền vô ào ào, tiền ra như nước giọt. Mà quan trọng nhất là năm nay Thái rất buồn không có cho mẹ đi Việt Nam được. Thầy thường mẹ đi du lịch, nhưng mà Thái hy vọng năm nay ăn bánh tét chung với mẹ sẽ vui vẻ hơn.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Councilmember Lan.
Is this to our parents?
Yes, yes. You have a chance to go back in time.
Okay. Thưa ba mẹ, năm xuân nhân tiện năm mới năm Sửu, con xin chúc ba mẹ nhiều sức khỏe, may mắn, vạn sự như ý, nhiều hạnh phúc do con và em trai con ở Long mang đến cho gia đình, và mong ba mẹ vẫn tiếp tục ủng hộ và hãnh diện về con. But as a generality, my catch-all when public speaking is thân chúc toàn thể quý vị thân tâm an lạc, vì có thế là có tất cả.
Oh my gosh, you bring tears to my eyes. I could only imagine when we in the same room together. That would be amazing. Delegate Kavi.
Oh, chị My-Linh, this makes me think of when I used to call my bà nội trước khi bà nội qua đời, đang chúc Tết cho bà nội. But thưa ba mẹ, con chúc Tết ba mẹ năm nay có nhiều sức khỏe, có nhiều thì chơi với cháu ngoại, cháu nội, có nhiều thì đi ra vườn bông, trồng bông cho vui vẻ, and có nhiều sức khỏe, may mắn năm nay. It's so wonderful. I feel like I should call them now.
Oh, right. I know. For me, gosh, my mom passed away, so this is something sort of going a little forward. Thưa mẹ, con xin thắp ném nhang này để mà nhớ thương về mẹ. Con hy vọng là khi mẹ nhìn lại, và mẹ sẽ rất là hãnh diện với chúng con và các cháu của mẹ. Hiện giờ mẹ ở nơi đâu, hy vọng là mẹ tiếp tục phù hộ cho các cháu được yên bình, và tất cả các anh chị bạn, cô bác, cô chú đang theo dõi chương trình một năm mới tràn đầy hạnh phúc, và nhất là giữ gìn sức khỏe. Hy vọng mọi người sẽ nhận được cái vaccine càng sớm càng tốt, để mà chúng ta có thể trở lại trong cái niềm vui đón xuân năm sau. Rất là vui mừng được có thời gian trò chuyện với các bạn. Bên Ca Dao, chị chuyển lại cho em.
Dạ, em cảm ơn chị. Cảm ơn electeds for coming to our celebration. We hope to see you in the future. I would like to pass it on to you, Anh-Tuan, actually.
I know, that was such a touching piece, right, Cookie?
So much so.
So, cái câu này anh Bình mới học phải không?
You want to give it a try?
All right. Thịt mỡ dưa hành, câu đối đỏ, cây nêu, cà pháo, bánh chưng xanh. So, this sentence describes that imagery so succinctly and so perfectly. Of course, I had someone explain it to me a couple times, but it makes me really really happy about celebrating Lunar New Year as a Vietnamese American.
Right, and it makes me feel really good. And coincidentally, because the next song to be featured is called Feeling Good, we are going to have our next performer, Huy Trung. Huy is personally an amazing friend of mine who has leveraged his professional trade as a lawyer to lay the groundwork for activism within our community on the West Coast, from being the brains behind Không Nói Không Biết to leading the nonprofit Viet American Roundtable. Please welcome Huy Trung.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world, and a bold world for me. For me. Stars when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good. I feel so good. Chúc mừng năm mới. Great job this year. It's a new day. And may this year bring good tidings to all.
Wow, Anh Huy.
I don't sound like that when I sing.
Yeah, I wish I could sing like Anh Huy. So, Cookie, my mom told me a really interesting Viet tradition. So, before the new year, you try to pay off your debts. And if you're the debtor, then you would cancel out the debts out of generosity.
Anh nói thiệt á hả? Em mới check Department of Education student loan mà em vẫn còn thấy một nùi student loan trong đó mà anh.
You're not the only one.
I mean, I hope that we could educate our Congress and White House about this particular debt tradition. So hopefully they can start thinking about, you know, wiping out some of those loans. And that's the surest way to get the next White House for years to come.
For sure. I mean, because as you know, we have lots of debt to get us through school. And so next, we'll visit some of our friends and community leaders from across the country, and we'll celebrate last year's accomplishments and welcome in the new one. So this is the roll call section.
All right.
Hi, Jeffery.
Hi, I'm back. All right. All right, I want to kick off this regional roll call with all the amazing work we did up here in the Pacific Northwest and across the West Coast. You see in that picture there, Representative My-Linh, Thai, and Joe Nguyen, who have been amazing in supporting our grassroots efforts. We had multiple rallies up here in Seattle during the summer, and you know, hundreds of people came out and we marched. And there was a particular incident that, you know, I wanted to share a story from the campaign trail here. You know, unfortunately, as many are familiar, there were incidents of violence last year leading up to the election, and not unique, but also happening in the Vietnamese American community. And one such incident happened up in Seattle with Vietnamese Trump supporters. And we rallied at the same location the following weekend to kind of denounce any sort of political violence. You know, I know that our community has a lot of trauma that was dug up during this election, but any type of violence we really can't condone. So we held a rally for Biden leading up to the ballot box. And, you know, the funniest thing happened. The Trump supporters hired a whole plane, in the next slide here, chartered a plane with a giant Trump banner to fly around and circle us the entire time, just out of spite. And their money was really worth the investment because it gave us a good laugh. If you can show the next slide, Philip. There you go. So yeah, you know, we had a good time. Next slide. And we marched all the way up to the ballot box, and we didn't just, you know, do our chants. We had a whole party. We danced all the way up, dropping off our ballots, and it was really a light, fun, joyful event. And it was exactly the kind of spirit we want to bring to our movement, which is hope, and which is the reason why we really are the future of our community. We have the chance to really transform our community, and it's because we bring that optimism and hope, and I hope that we can all stay connected and continue that. Next slide. And I just want to cap this off with a few words from Representative Thai at our rally, with some words of humility.
Please take a moment of your time to thank them, because they are the mothers who care for the children. They are the father who built this country. They are us. There's not any difference.
Thank you.
Up next is Virginia. Wow, that was an incredible year for us here in Virginia too. And Virginia, we did it. I wanted to thank all of you and all of our friends from around the country for helping us. I'd like to give a shout out to our friends in Maryland and Washington, our border strategy, for coming over to Virginia to engage our community. Virginia was a red state, and together we turned Virginia blue, and we kept it blue this round. That was so important. our volunteers working with the Biden and Harris campaign and the Democratic Asian Americans of Virginia, we made contacts to over 63,000 AAPI households, over 30,000 phone calls, and 25,000 text messages. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a huge accomplishment, especially during this pandemic virtual season. And we had a historic victory this November, and Vietnamese Americans were truly the margin of victory. You can see some of the images here, some of our shared accomplishment in Virginia, really tangible. We kicked off the virtual bus tour through Virginia. We hosted virtual in-language phone and text banks. We hosted virtual postcard writing. This is what campaigning is all about. The grinding work of, getting the message out and activating our community. And my favorite, we had lion dance at our rallies, but most importantly, we did it in a way that was responsible. We wore masks, we practiced safe social distancing, and we're so fortunate that everyone was safe. Most importantly is that we won. Now the hard work begins, and we truly need to unite and move our country forward. Kính thưa quý vị, trong bài diễn văn nhậm chức của tân Tổng thống Joe Biden, chúng ta đã nghe thấy lời kêu gọi tha thiết cho sự đoàn kết để chúng ta cùng có thể xây dựng lại tốt đẹp hơn và cùng nhau góp sức khôi phục lại nước Mỹ như một ngọn hải đăng mang đến sự an ninh của nền dân chủ, tự do và nhân quyền. And the journey to true unity requires a lot of work. The insurrection at the Capitol really hit home for many Vietnamese Americans. Our beloved yellow flag, our heritage flag, was associated with lawlessness and white supremacy. And we're so grateful to the men and women in uniform for protecting our democracy and constitution. And the Vietnamese American community here in the Capital Region organized Operation Thank Our Troops. I would like to invite Go Lee Kim Ha, one of our core organizers who provided food amongst with many donors around the countries, including Anh-Tuan here and many generous Vietnamese American, for donating food to the Guam National Guards as well as the U.S. Capitol Police. I'd like to invite Go Kim Ha to say a few words.
Cảm ơn Linh. Kính chào tất cả quý anh chị em và tất cả các người bạn trẻ rất là đáng yêu của tôi. February 12th coming is Một Tết, the first day of the Vietnamese traditional New Year. So that is the Vietnamese, the most important and significant holiday. When we were in Vietnam, before that, it was the Vietnamese tradition to pay a visit and send gifts to the soldiers who are at the front line fighting hard to protect our country, with the intention of re-implementing this fight tradition. Last Wednesday, that means the February the 3rd, Vietnamese American for Biden living in Virginia, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. Have organized a visit to Capitol Police in Washington, D.C. to say a few words of gratitude and respect to the Capitol Police. They have faced danger in the January 6th riot, and they were attacked by violent protesters while performing their duty to protect Constitution, protect American democracy. Many of them still in the hospital. Some had broken bones, some had their head beaten, and some had resigned from work after discharge from the hospital. Sadly to know that. The very night before the day we visit Capitol Police, a moving ceremony was held at the Capitol. The fallen Capitol Police officer, Brian Sicknick, lie in honor at Capitol. So what a meaningful day, Wednesday, February the 3rd. We got a chance to say thank you to Capitol Police. Very honored to invite all the staff at USCP to enjoy the Vietnamese lunch with Vietnamese cà phê sữa đá. Also send them a New Year greeting card. Yeah, with our best wishes for the Lunar New Year Day years of the ox. Thank you, anh Tạ Trung, for suggesting, and thank you, sister and brother, in our Vietnamese American for Biden Virginian team, for your support, your donation to implement the capital visit. Happy New Year. Xin chúc mừng năm mới Tân Sửu. Xin chúc tất cả quý anh chị em chúng ta luôn luôn được hòa hiệp, an lành và luôn luôn có sức mạnh và sức khỏe để thắng cơn đại dịch này. Và chúc những người bạn trẻ của chúng tôi là tương lai của người Mỹ gốc Việt tại nước Mỹ này sẽ thẳng tiến là một con người tử tế, trung thành với đất nước và thực hiện những nghĩa vụ tốt đẹp của mình. Xin thành thật cảm ơn.
Cảm ơn cô Kim Hà for your testimonial and for your continuous organizing through these many years. You know, there's a favorite, one of the saying in Vietnamese is của ít lòng nhiều. And that's what this event was so meaningful, was that we were able to thank our troops and our men and women in uniform and sharing delicious Vietnamese food. And we could not have done it without you, and for you being there, and Vietnamese American from around the country for contributing to this effort. So thank you, everyone, and we wish you a happy new year. Next to Texas.
Hi, welcome everyone. And here's a big welcome from our Texas Biden team, where we may look small, but we are mighty. As shown by our huge positive media coverage that we received after our first rally in Houston. Although there were weekly Trump rallies and a huge Republican presence, we felt that it was important to show the progressive Viet community here in the South. So here's our first rally, shown actually at the site of Lê Hoàng Nguyen's billboard. He's actually a local Republican businessman who received significant backlash from the conservative Viet community after voicing his opinions for racial justice and democracy. So we're really proud to have made a mark in the heart of Viet Town in Houston, so much so that we actually received national attention that you've already seen on Joe Biden's Instagram. So here again is a picture of my mom and our volunteer David in the background from our first rally. And as progressive older Vietnamese parents, a population that may seem kind of rare, at least in Texas, my mom and dad actually wanted to say a really quick thank you to everyone.
Sorry for that slight technical difficulty.
Hello everyone. I would like to say thank you to the team that have organized the rally to have Biden get elected and the runoff for Georgia. Okay, thank you and chúc mừng năm mới.
Yes, again, we are very thankful and to be able to contribute our small part into success overall. And on the personal side, we are also very happy that President Joe Biden used the picture of my wife on his Instagram page. And that's also concrete proof that he cares about us, the Asian Americans in general, and also the Vietnamese American, and that means a lot. Again, thank you very much. And on the eve of the New Year, let me say a few words in Vietnamese. Xin chúc mọi người có một cái Tết vui tươi, và chúng ta hy vọng có 4 năm sắp tới tươi đẹp hơn so với 4 năm vừa qua. Xin kính chào.
Thank you.
from the celebrities themselves. We love your parents too, Mai. So after our first rally, we started to see more and more support from our community members, and we realized that this couldn't be a singular effort. So we united with the AAPI community, Filipino, Chinese, Muslim, and together we made our stand at another larger AAPI rally, like right across the street from the original rally. Because we realize the importance of recognizing that our fight is not only just our fight, it is all of ours. And of course, the rallies were only one part. We are so thankful for all the volunteers who took time out of their day to make thousands of phone calls, texts, and wrote postcards and block walked with us to mobilize our community. And with every new person we reached out to, they are just one more ripple on the blue wave that is going to sweep Texas.
So yeah, once again, like Tumai and Alex have said, we've done. It was a very long 3 months. Of course, a lot of struggles, a lot of a lot of tears have been shed, a lot of sweat, but eventually we came through, and we're really happy that the outcome turned out to be on our side. And so, on behalf of the Texas Viets for Biden and our team in the Lone Star State, I'd like to thank everyone who helped make all of this possible, including all of the volunteers and the community members who've supported us, throughout the entire effort, because we were able to cooperate with a lot of older generation and also younger generation to come together for like a lot of these rallies and a lot of our phone banking and text banking efforts. And so we really, really appreciate you guys and everyone here. You truly inspire us and motivate us to continue pushing and fighting for a better future. And so we do hope that potentially next year or maybe 2024, we could see a blue Texas. So fingers crossed to that. And so once again, on behalf of the team, thank you, and a very happy new year. And so up next, I'd like to pan over to the state that made history this year by turning blue for the first time in history, panning over to Georgia.
Hello everyone. Chúc mừng năm mới from a blue Georgia. I'm just so delighted to be here with you all. We actually, in Georgia, no one knew we were here. So it was a great excitement that we had Jefferey reach out to me back in the Viet for Biden days to include us in the national organization. My name is Cam T. Ashling. I am a co-founder of the Asian American Legal Advocacy Center. That's now the Asian American Advancing Justice, chair of the Georgia Advancing Progress PAC, and chair of the new Asian American Action Fund Georgia chapter that we needed so badly during the runoff because we didn't have a coordinated AAPI federal PAC. So I want to encourage everybody who's trying to flip their state to go ahead and incorporate your PACs, take control of your state, activate all your friends, go out and create relationships with all the existing activists that you have. This didn't happen overnight in Georgia. It's been years in the making of all of us on the ground. I wasn't a political person at all. I was, mildly interested. In 2016, I thought, me making some phone calls for Hillary and giving her $20 and going to vote myself was enough. And it wasn't enough. And we found out that we can do so much more. So, now people on the ground have become extremely proficient in, running the data, canvassing and running an entire team, campaigning, generating our own flyers, writing postcard campaigns in language, crossing between just Vietnamese campaigning to like South Asians, to the Chinese community, the Korean community, and everything in between, and especially reaching our millennials. So I want to thank all the groups that help us do that. And I know you guys from across the country were helping Georgia in the runoff, and that put us on the map. So here we are, and thank God it's a new year, because I don't know if we could have survived another 4 years of Trump. So, chúc mừng năm mới to everybody. I'm gonna have a cheer and a toast to everybody. And keep an eye out for Georgia, because you know what? In 2022, we're gonna do it again with Stacey Abrams. So if anybody wants to come down to Georgia, come on down. We love you all. Cheers, cheers. I'm gonna drink it now. Yes.
Thank you, Cam.
Yeah.
Thank you for your work. Next up is Linh.
Happy Lunar New Year. Chúc mừng năm mới from Houston, Texas. My name is Linh, and I'm the Executive Director of Run AAPI. More recently, I was the AAPI Coalitions Director for the Democratic Party of Georgia, and actually working closely with our Viet sister, Cam Ashling. Now, it is really just an honor to be sharing this space with y'all, in the fight to have our voices count. And honestly, I've just never felt more at home, more safe than organizing alongside y'all. And so tonight, we finally get to celebrate because we earned it. And not only are we celebrating our favorite holiday of the year, but we're also welcoming new change, real opportunity with President Joe Biden and our Asian American auntie in the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris. So excited for the day that we just finally get to see each other again in real life. But in the meantime, a very happy new year and much, much love to this family.
Thank you, Linh. Thank you, Cam. Much love to y'all in Georgia. I know I was writing my postcards here. Next up, I'd like to introduce another one of our esteemed leaders, Senator Joe Nguyen from the state of Washington. Share a few words.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ben. And thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Chúc mừng năm mới. It's such an honor to be with everybody right now. What's funny is that it wasn't until recently that I realized there was even a progressive contingent of the Vietnamese community. Oftentimes we'll see some of our more conservative elders out there, and you feel alone a little bit. But a couple of years ago, getting involved more with Pivot and also groups within the Seattle area as well, it's been so uplifting to see how much we can make a difference simply by existing and showing up to fight for our neighbors and for our families. So thank you, everybody, for all that you've done in this fight to elect Joe Biden, but also for electing myself and My-Linh and others as well, right? So this is just the beginning of, I think, a tremendous amount of energy and power that we can have for our people. And what does it mean really to win these types of elections? It's more than just having stuff done at the national level. So for instance, we heard some of the priorities from our other elected officials. For myself, it's fighting for an equitable pandemic response, ensuring that we have basic needs programs that are fully funded. By having elected officials who share our values and are fighting for us, it means that we're also being able to bring our issues to the forefront. One of the things that I'm most proud of is increasing access and funding to what's called TANF, Temporary Assistance for Needy Families in Washington State. My family, like a lot of families, relied on TANF when we first came over from Vietnam. I was born here, but my mom and my dad came over. And because of those resources, we were able to get an opportunity to have a successful shot at the American dream here in Washington State. And really, that's what it means when we organize. It isn't just about winning elections. It's about delivering for our communities and being able to help the next generation be successful as well. So that's why I'm so thankful for everybody and being so engaged in this time. And I think the solidarity that we have by being together right now is a testament to the great work being done over the past few years. And I look forward to fighting and continuing the fight to serve our communities as well. I saw that the last speaker Gum had the wine. I mean, I don't have any on me right now, but my favorite toast during Lunar New Year is VSOP. So hopefully in the near future, we can get together in person and share a drink. So thank you so much. Chúc mừng năm mới.
Thank you, Senator Joe. It's just so inspiring that we have such amazing leaders in our community, and what a great opportunity during Tết for us to commune together and share this moment together and celebrate. Next, I have the honor of introducing a musical virtuoso, Van-Anh Võ.
Hello. Hello, everyone. I am very honored to be here. Chúc mừng năm mới. And this is time that we celebrate all the new, I can say that new era, new hope. As a mother of two, this new administration is just open for a lot of hope for me and for my daughters. So the best thing that I can share with you is the piece that I want to share with you to celebrate all that we have been go through and all that we have been achieved. And then I'm looking forward to the futures of the Vietnamese Americans. Please enjoy Queen of the Night.
Tuyệt vời phải không quý vị? That was amazing. Didn't I tell you that she's a musical virtuoso? Like, I just jaw drop every single time I hear her. Thank you, chị Van-Anh, so much. Up next, I would like to introduce one of our co-hosts for the event tonight and a cornerstone in you know the nascent but growing progressive Vietnamese Americans community. Pivot, the Progressive Vietnamese American Organization. I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Tong Nguyen. He was the former chair of the White House Commission for Asian American and Pacific Islanders. He's a doctor, Dr. Tong Nguyen, and a professor at the University of San Francisco.
Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks, Ben. Chúc mừng năm mới, everyone. So honored to be here. As been said, I'm Tong, and I'm the president of Pivot. And first of all, I want to congratulate all of you and all of us for a job really well done. We're like 2 weeks into the presidency of Joe Biden, and there's so much good work that's already been done, and so much hope for so much more to be done. So, and we know that we wouldn't be here without all of you doing the work that you did. Just a couple of words about Pivot. We built Pivot to take back the White House in our country during the dark days of the Trump administration. So we're very gratified to be part of this Vietnamese American progressive movement that helped to elect Joe and Kamala and to obtain the majority in the Senate and the House. And for those of you who are not familiar with us, we're a national 501c4 nonprofit. And our vision is to be a collective voice for progressive Vietnamese Americans to engage and to empower us through civic engagement and leadership development and to support policies and candidates that are aligned with our values. I do want to take this time to sort of update you a little bit on us. We have over 450 members now across the country in 35 states. Very strong social media and social media present in English and Vietnamese. We have a top-notch policy team and a very strong and vibrant young Vietnamese American committee doing a lot of great work, particularly in multi-generational work. And in 2020, we actually helped candidates to raise funds, match over 600 individual donations. We actually launched Viet Fact Check, which I'm sure many of you have heard about, to fight disinformation in English and Vietnamese. And within a very short time, Viet Fact Check has over 15,000 followers in both Instagram and Facebook, and has been covered in mainstream media. Our Vietnam Vote team actually engaged and got people to vote. We reached over 100,000 Vietnamese American voters in key states. We instituted a Pivot Fellows program where we had 10 fellows and 1 intern in 5 swing states to work with local organizations. And they were responsible for over 2 million voter contacts. And we launched digital ads campaign that reached over 500,000 viewers of our election materials. Right now, we have a glossary, a political glossary for those who would like to speak a little bit better Vietnamese in terms of political language, English Vietnamese glossary on our website, pivotnetwork.org. And for the next couple of years, we're going to focus a lot of our work on our fight against disinformation, also addressing issue around COVID. And we are going to really try to launch a leadership development program to develop the next generation of Vietnamese American activists and build more partnerships. And finally, we're an all-volunteer run organization, so your contribution either in time or skill or money is greatly appreciated. So check us out again at pivotnetwork.org. Thanks for listening, and let's celebrate this brand new year and this brand new administration. Chúc mừng năm mới, everybody. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chu, so much for the resource and being the backbone of this community of fledgling Viet progressives. Okay, so enough about everyone else. Let's talk about me. Just kidding. So you probably wondered, who is this girl and why is she standing next to Bin Lee, who's obviously so accomplished in this circle? Well, in June of 2020, after having a particularly difficult debate with my father surrounding the systemic issue of racism, I realized that I wasn't the only person having such a political and generational rift between me and my dad and my mom. So I co-founded a Vietnamese news aggregator with my friend JD Tran, and it serves as a credible Viet language news source. We translate news from world-class news agency into Vietnamese to make it more accessible. Our goal here is to help combat the rampant misinformation and generational political disconnect in our community. As we come together today, I'm sure that every one of us has been exposed to the heartbreak of political divide in the household. We are marred by war trauma. We lack adequate news structure, infrastructure, as well as facing the huge language barrier, especially among the older Viet generations. So like other immigrant groups, we are afflicted by fake news from, quite malicious organizations and individuals like Bich-May and Michael Tran, whose videos on YouTube aim not to inform, but to propagandize. But with that said, Tết nhất thì không được hỗn với người lớn, nên Cookie chỉ được muốn chọc chút xíu thôi. So join us for an SNL-inspired weekend update with our very own comedian, Linh Nguyen, who is also my co-host in Không Nói Không Biết. Take it away.
Didn't see you there. Hello, everybody. My name is Linh Nguyen from Linh Nguyen Comedy. You're right. And I'm here today not to do that, but to represent Không Nói Không Biết, which is an online news channel led by Viet youth that reports in Vietnamese. Không Nói Không Biết is a project of Người Thông Dịch, the interpreter. A little disclaimer before I start. I'm a comedian, and this is all satire, okay? Nothing is true, all right? Let me kick this off by saying 2020 was a year of extreme, and for our Vietnamese community, 2020 was extremely unifying and divisive at the same time. Here I am here today at the Viet for Biden TED Gala. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to wish Viet for Trump, máu ăn trong lớn, não bộ nở nang, tiền ra như nước, tiền vô như nhỏ giọt cà phê. And if you don't like this country anymore, just leave, okay? Viet for Trump, hear me out. If you like strongman politics and hate democracy, I know just the place for you. The motherland. Move back to Vietnam and you don't have to worry about anything, because voter fraud in Vietnam is actually just voting, and voter intimidation is actually just voter registration. And if you move back to the motherland, you don't have to internalize racism or get out of your way to embrace the model minority myth, because in Vietnam, you are the majority. When you think about it, being Vietnamese in Vietnam is just like being white in the US. So, enjoy your privilege. Moving on. 2020 was also a year of all of a sudden Trump is waging a war against Satan worshiping, cannibalistic, pedophile elites in the government in Hollywood. So QAnon became this dark corner on the internet where adults with nothing else better to do started to hang out. And I have been doing a lot of research on this. Like our ancestors say, lay up, cheat out. Okay, and the only way that we can beat conspiracy is by spreading more conspiracy. And hear me out. I think Q is a Vietnamese conservative. I said, hear me out. Q is the Vietnamese dude named Nguyen, okay? And Nguyen started posting this crazy conspiracy on a online forum named 4chan starting October 2017. And if you know anything about 4chan, it's a forum board like Reddit with a heavy focus on anime, manga, otaku culture, video games, and adults cartoon. This got a Vietnamese dude named Nguyen written all over it. And to Nguyen, I say, "Cái Nguyen where? You are destroying our country, man. Stop it." Speaking of destroying our country, on October 15, 2020, during the second day of early voting in Fairfax, Virginia, a group of Trump supporters waved MAGA flag and chanted, "4 năm nữa, 4 năm nữa," as voters trying to enter the polling location. And at one point, they form a line at the entrance so that the voter have to get around the site to even vote. Oh, since it's Northern Virginia, you bet there's some Vietnamese people there. They are my neighbors. And these are the same people that claim they're fighting for democracy in Vietnam while destroying the very same concept in another country. That's like if Trump's saying, I'm gonna beat China up so bad and then turn around and beat America up even more. Wait, that's what he did. Moving on. Recently, a Vietnamese restaurant in Chicago called Phở Xe Tăng, tank noodle, was boycotted after their owners and his family flew to Washington, D.C., joined in with the angry mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol. I mean, who would even think the owner of Phở Xe Tăng would be some crazy dude who glorified violence? What? The owner of Phở Xe Tăng? He's a real peaceful dude with a real peaceful name restaurant. What could possibly be the red flag here? Oh, and you know why? You know why people found out that they were in the Capitol on that day? Because the owner, Mr. Thức, his wife, Miss Tu, and their son, Mr. Tien, took selfies and posted them on Facebook. Không có cái ngu nào như cái ngu này hết. And I don't even know why this family is selling phở, man. Their name is Thức, Tien, Tu. That is 3 T's. 3 chữ T. 3 T. They should have sold bánh mì instead. That should have been so on brand. Thank you, everybody. That's my 2020 update. And now I would invite Cookie to join me. We are doing a Biden by night skit called 101 Conversation to Republican Parents. You probably was in this position before. And I will be the Vietnamese American dad, and Cookie is my liberal child who I spend too much money to get brainwashed at USC. Take it away.
Hey, Dad. Biden being president means that the U.S. will likely have much more inclusive policies towards immigrants. Isn't that good news for our people?
Ô trời ơi, cái ông Bảy Đần á, cái ông Bảy Đần nó thích nhập cư lậu mà, cái ông đó mà lên là cái đất nước này loạn đó, mày mở mắt ra mày coi đi.
Bad, but you are an immigrant. Do you hear yourself? You came here for a better life too.
Ủa, tao với má mày là qua đây là tị nạn chính trị nha, có lý do lý chấu đàng hoàng chứ không phải như tụi mễ đâu, đang ăn cơm mà mày cứ đem cái chuyện này ra làm cái gì, mày cứ vô duyên ăn cơm đi.
Con học vô duyên từ ba, bên nói gì đừng có to tiếng với con. And here you have double standard number 1. Everyone is an illegitimate immigrant except your family. They came here to work, just like you and the family, so they're not hurting anyone.
Thôi, tụi nó qua đây cái giỏi ăn welfare ở mấy cái bang thổ tả như Cali, chẳng có đóng góp một cái đồng thuế nào mà suốt ngày mày ho mà cãi nhau với tao. Mày lại đây tao biểu.
Yeah.
Dì Bảy ở ngoài Nha Trang á, có một thằng cháu nuôi, nó muốn qua đây làm nail. Nó ra giá cho mày 70.000 để mình làm giấy tờ hôn thú đó, mày có muốn làm không? Tao giới thiệu nó cho mày. Tao chỉ lấy 5.000 thôi, mày lấy 65.000 mày đi trả nợ sinh viên đi con.
Moving to unless your family does it. So where is he gonna end up in the US?
Thì nó có ông chú làm chủ tiệm nail á, trả tiền mặt không à. Biết sao không? Để bớt khai thuế. Ông khôn lắm. Thời buổi này trả tiền cash chứ ai mà đi khai thuế trên tu Bồ Tát cho nó tốn tiền. Trời đất câu.
And double standard number 3. Tax evasion is un-American, but not if you're a smart Vietnamese businessman. But didn't you say that you hate tax evaders?
Ổng đang hưởng food stamp á, bên Westminster nên dư giả tí, chắc cho nó qua bển xin benefit trước, rồi xong rồi mình tính sao, ok, mày thích không? Mày nghĩ sao?
Thank you, Leo. Illegal immigrants are bad because they eat up welfare, but not us though. Never us. Because
Never us.
we're the only people suffering. And that, everyone, is your everyday conversation with your Vietnamese Republican dad. All right. Thank you so much, Leo. Everyone go check out his Facebook page, Leo Nguyen Comedy, for more hilarious cross-continental content.
Bye-bye. Chúc mừng năm mới.
All right, let's bring Ben back. Or Katie, sorry.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how to follow that. Hi everyone, my name is Katie and I was the finance chair for Viets for Biden. What a great program so far. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know that the team, the production team, our MCs and all of our special guests have worked really hard to deliver this program for all of you. You know, we just had such a great time this election cycle, producing events like this and creating all kinds of content to engage Vietnamese voters. And while we deservingly should take a moment to celebrate right now, let us not forget that we have important elections this year and next year in 2022. And because representation matters, we want to show up to support our Viet candidates, and we want to show up to support candidates who will advocate for our community. So the Viets for Biden group has officially, I think I'm safe to say, has officially launched a PAC, a political action committee, and it will be an affiliate of the AAPI Victory Fund. And I sit on the board of the Victory Fund, and of course I will be remiss if I did not engage with Viets for Biden in this new endeavor as well. So please help us raise funds for that account so that we can continue to do all this great content to support all of the new activists and people who are breaking new ground for our community every single day. So as you're getting your leasing next week, I want you to think about this, and I want you to reserve a little leasing for us and wish us good luck in the years ahead. You know, somebody put a link in the chat for everyone. I would ask that you join us as we kick off this new organization by making a donation to be a founding member. And all we're asking is a $15 donation. And of course, we'll take more if you can donate more. And maybe some of you can join me tonight by donating $100 tonight. These funds, of course, will go to our outreach efforts, our phone banking efforts, our events budget for customized programming just like this. So in all seriousness, we've gained so much ground this year. We need to keep up the momentum. So let's build on this fantastic foundation. Let's charge forward and bring progress to our community. Chúc mừng năm mới, everyone.
Come on, Katie. Sorry, I was muted. I mean, what's the this new 2021 without muting yourself? More information on the PAC to come. So please follow us on social media. We are just building on this momentum, and we don't want to lose all of the hard work that everyone on this team, hundreds of people across the country, our partners at Pivot, at the AAA Victory, API Victory Fund. So more information to come. Please sign up for our listserv, and thank you again to our co-hosts, Pivot and API Victory Fund. Thank you to our team, Hugh Trung, My-Linh, Lynn, Alex, David. Thank you so much to Philip Nguyen from California for all the technical assistance. And thank you to Texas's David Nguyen for his creative genius, all the posters and flyers, all the fancy bells and whistles you're seeing in the program right now. Thank you so much. We have such an incredible team. And again, like Katie said, we formed this PAC, and if you like what you see and you like the representation we're starting to have in this my parents' second home, my first home, please support us.
All right. So everyone, you've heard all Ben has to say. Go ahead and whip out your wallet if you want to, of course. But thank you everyone for attending our program. And Ben, I've had such an amazing time emceeing with you. But of course, we are not done just yet. Mình theo dõi dây thun mà. This can't be a Vietnamese event without a round of karaoke. Nghe được không anh?
Xuất sắc. Năm mới mà nhóm VAfB Biden và tất cả anh chị em công sự muốn chúc cô chú, bạn bè một năm tràn đầy hạnh phúc và không say, không về nha.
So please join us in the singing of the classic timeless that song Ly Rượu Mừng. I have my Moscato here. So if we can all hold up our booze of choice and let's cue the music.
Ngày xuân chân ta chúc người nơi nơi anh năm phúc vui vui người thương xa nơi người công nhân ấm no thọ thì thời gian lao nghèo khó. Nhạc chén đầy vơi chúc người người vui. Muôn lòng sao xuyên duyên đời. Gió thuyền tràn đầy chén quan san chúc người binh sĩ lên đàng. Chiến đấu công thành sáng cuộc đời lành người vì nước quên thân mình.
Kìa nơi xa xa có bà mẹ già từ lâu mong con mắt vương lệ nhòa. Chúc bà một sớm quê hương bước con về hòa nỗi yêu thương. Hát khúc hoan ca thắm tươi đời lính. Chúc mẹ hiền dịu thu tình mừng diệu hân hoan đôi quê hương xây tổ ấm trên cánh yêu đương. Cảm ơn người nghệ sĩ khiến khi ca nét chân phát tô nên đời mới. Bạn hỡi vang lên lời ước thiêng liêng chúc non sông hòa bình hòa bình. Ngày bóng sương khôi phương rơi ngày ấy quê hương yên vui đời anh về trong chén tình đời vơi. Nhớ cao ly này hãy chúc ngày mai sáng trời tự do. Nước non thái bình muôn người hạnh phúc tràn hòa. Kìa nơi xa xa có bà mẹ già từ lâu mong con mắt vương lệ nhòa. Chúc bà một sớm quê hương bước con về hòa nỗi yêu thương. Hát khúc hoan ca thắm tươi đời lính. Chúc mẹ hiền dịu thu tình diệu hân hoan đôi bên hương xây tổ ấm trên cánh yêu đương. Cảm ơn người nghệ sĩ khiến khi ca nét trắng pha tô nên đời mới. Bạn hỡi vang lên lời ước thiêng liêng chúc non sông hòa bình hòa bình. Ngày bóng sương thôi phương rơi ngày ấy quê hương yên vui đời anh về trong chén tình đời vơi. Nhớ cao ly này hãy chúc ngày mai sáng trời tự do. Nước non thái bình muôn người hạnh phúc tràn hòa.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Chúc mừng năm mới.
Chúc mừng năm mới.
Chúc mừng năm
Chúc mừng năm mới.
Chúc mừng năm mới. Happy New Year.
Have some fun.
Happy New Year.
Năm mới. Happy New Year.
Yêu Banten. Amazing.
Chúc mừng năm mới mọi người.